Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, December the 29th, as we're marching towards the close of 2014. What do we have? 3 more days left, right? We've got Brenton Harris with us today. Good to have you here, Brenton.
Good to be
and
here.
And you're new to Columbia.
Brand new.
Yeah, you came from Texas.
Dallas, Texas, yeah.
Dallas, and then San Antonio, Texas before then. So what brings you to Columbia?
The School of Metaphysics.
Right, okay. So you're the director of the School of Metaphysics here in Columbia. And the reason you're here today is you wanted to talk about peace. You're having a special program dealing with peace on New Year's Eve. And what's it called?
It's called our Universal Hour of Peace. And, peace is one of those words that it's kind of interesting these days, especially with all the stuff happening across the country in the last several months.
Right.
So we're bringing an elevated perspective of how to create that and how to sustain it.
So how are you doing that?
So every year, the School of Metaphysics and all of our branches across the country hosts what's called a Universal Hour of Peace. And the last 30 minutes of the old year, the 31st, and then carried through to the first 30 minutes of the new year are spent doing something peaceably in our towns and cities across the country.
So from 11:30, December 31st, to 12:30 in the morning, January 1st, you're doing something peaceably.
We are. And at midnight, that is bisected by doing something, practicing what we call one voice, which is reading a document that was created about a decade ago by School of Metaphysics teachers and leaders called the Universal Peace Covenant. And so this is read by people actually across the world at midnight. And so it's initiating the new year with a peaceful thought and intention.
Now that hour of peace, is it held at the School of Metaphysics, or are you out in the community?
That's a good question. We do different things every year, and depending on what city you find with a school branch in it, they may be doing something different. I know in Columbia what we're going to be doing, and really this is all the branches are doing this, we are doing 20 hours and 15 minutes of meditation leading up to the point where the new year hits.
The same person? You're asking people to meditate for 20 hours?
Maybe.
Somebody is going to sit down and meditate for 20 hours?
If that one person wants to, if we have some yogis in our midst, they're welcome to come on. What we're actually asking people to do is contribute little buckets of time here and there.
To meditate.
Mm-hmm.
But is it possible? Is it possible for somebody to meditate for 20 and a half hours?
I would say it's possible. I'm not sure
not very
if
probable.
I could do it. Yeah, it takes some practice. I think the longest I've gone is 2 or 3 hours in a stretch.
Of meditating.
Mm-hmm.
When you meditate, it's clearing your mind of every thought, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep, and I've tried meditating. I'm not very good at it. I do what I call my quiet time, and I used to do it a lot more than I did now, but I used to when I was working. I would sit down about 10 minutes every morning before I would go to work and just sit quietly in a chair and try not to think of anything that was disturbing. And I just called it my quiet time. Mm-hmm. That helped, but that wasn't meditating. Is it?
There's different, different things that people describe as meditation. And ultimately, I think it's whatever works for each person. So I think what you did is fantastic.
So you don't have to sit on the floor with your legs crossed and do the
You don't have to. You don't have to. At the School of Metaphysics, we actually teach our students that come through our classes to concentrate for weeks before we even introduce meditation. So finding that quiet is a little bit easier as you learn to direct and hold your attention.
Yeah. I was reading an article about meditation a couple of weeks ago. The fact that people who do meditate on a regular basis, it improves your health, your resistance to disease is increased, correct?
All
And
kinds of things.
you have more peace of mind.
Absolutely, and that's the goal. And in fact, even several years ago in Washington, D.C., they did a very well put together and highly publicized study. They had between 2,000 and 3,000 people come in and consistently meditate in the D.C. area for about a month with the sole intention of bringing more peace to the area, and they lowered crime rate between 20 and 30%.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe some of them should go and meditate around the Capitol.
It couldn't hurt.
That may help. So
Yeah.
you're saying that just a group of people meditating in a city can help lower the crime rate?
It can do more, yeah, because it helps us to reunite with the truth that we're all connected, and that as each one of us begins to hold a personal vision for peace, then that begins to ripple outward.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's almost the same thing as prayer, because studies have been done that people who are sick and are prayed for tend to recover quicker
Absolutely.
and better, and have a better recovery than those who are not prayed for.
Absolutely. I would say they're two peas in a pod, prayer and meditation.
Yeah, yeah. So if people want to have, they want to participate in this hour of peace, what do they do? Do they just come down? Do they need to call ahead of time? Or do they have to start meditating now?
They can do all of the above. We actually, through our website, som.org/Columbia, we have a calendar of events, and there's a link there where people can click and sign up by a time slot if they want, because we are going to have different times where we can actually, we'll host guided meditations for people. So if you've never meditated before, you can come learn.
Is there a charge for this?
Not at all. It's free. We want people to just join us in community.
So you can go down and you can meditate for peace, and you're not charging them anything.
Not at all.
Oh, that's very nice of you then.
Yeah. We just want people to be involved.
Okay, so they need to go to, what's the website?
www.som.org/Columbia.
Okay, and that will give you all the information that you need. Or can you just show up and say, hey, I'm here to be a part of the hour of peace?
Absolutely. We'll be there all day New Year's Eve.
All day, starting what time?
Ooh, I'm going to be starting at 3:45 in the morning to make sure we get all 20 hours and 15 minutes in.
You're going to start your meditation at that time?
I am.
3:45, and you're going until 12:30 the next day?
I'm not going to be meditating the whole time. We're going to have people that come in shifts, so
Okay.
that way
All right.
everybody's
All right, Brent,
meditating.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting
Thanks,
you. Come
Paul.
back and see us again, okay?
Appreciate it.
Tomorrow, Nutrition and Dietetics and Literacy Action Corps as we march down to 2015. 2015. This is 14, right? Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Something you'd like to hear or see, drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu.